Goldylocks Productions broadcasts universal cosmic frequencies that unlock, awaken, and expand the consciousness of our worldwide viewers and listeners. You are tuning into the Goldylocks Productions presentation of the Spiritual Insight Show with Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spiritual Insight Show. I am Reverend Tiffany White Sage Woman. I am falling out of my chair. And I am so happy and pleased to be sitting in Sacred Circle with each and every one of you this evening. Oh, this beautiful March 7th. Wow, this is the first show for me in March. So, wow. Welcome, everyone. And hope you've had a very nice weekend. And how's everyone feeling? How's everyone doing? And just as you're coming into this sacred circle, just take deep breaths and know that you are in this sacred space. Put some lotion on here. Woo. Oh, all right. So for those of you who maybe are watching the first time, welcome. Whether you're going to watch the show live or in the archives, welcome everyone. A space has been reserved for you. And I'd like to give my website is White Sage Woman. I'm saying Sage, S-A-G-E. So White Sage, S-A-G-E, woman.com. And that's for everyone too that's listening in the archives on radio, because we have multiple podcasts and music streaming stations where the audio from my show and from all the Goldylocks production shows goes. So yay. Hello, Ruth. How are you, dear? So yes. All right. So right. Last night, as I'm trying to get my bearings on what day this is, Sunday, yes. So last night I had a special presentation, and it was about Mysterious Moon. And for those of you who did not, you maybe hear about it in time, or those of you who didn't want to maybe attend at that moment, whether it's live, you can watch the recorded class or presentation from my website, whitesagewoman.com. Just go to recorded classes and you'll see all my classes there. And so that you can purchase it, and then you can listen to it. And there has to be that exchange. Also to read it, because read the little description, because if you're getting a no not to watch it, then don't at that time. So anyway, just want to make sure that it's for everyone's highest and greatest. And I know that this year is going to be a huge, huge year of awakenings, and people that are asleep, awakenings. And even for those that are awake, that there's going to be a lot of things that are still continuously brought to the light. But it's important for us to just continue to hold that space and to hold that light, okay? So I'm glad you're doing great, Ruth. Hello, Richard. How are you, dear? And so, yay. Welcome. Right. So, but like I said, the class last night. Ruth, what did you think, or how are you doing, sweetie? You still, there was a lot of information, wasn't it? So without giving too much out, you don't have to go into too much detail. You can just, are you doing better today? Huh? Because I know that was just a lot to digest, wasn't it? So, and Linnell, hey girl, check you out. Woohoo! Hello, Wendy. Yay, Wendy. Yay, everyone. All the cool kids are here. I love and appreciate each and every one of you. It's just like having fun. We're having fun. This is what we need is just so much more joy, laughter, being in sacred circles with those that we love and respect, right? So, yay. All right. Ruth, it was a lot of information. I felt a ton of energy during the show. You were the first person to say that. If Super Space Cookie comes on, she said the same thing. She said that there was a lot. She could feel the ebb and flow of the energy, and so good. Yay! Hello. Thank you. You said in your mind you were going to talk about reincarnation. Yes, because you know what? When the information was flowing, I was getting more information last night during the class, and I was like, we were already like over an hour and a half. I was like, okay, I could feel everyone's energy. That's like, stop. This is a lot of information at one time. Let's just let everyone have a good night's sleep, get a good day. And then I said I would open it back up to them, to my angelic celestial community, to come back in and let's talk about reincarnation. And this is something that everyone can follow. If you didn't listen to the class last night, that the presentation, again, the mysterious moon presentation, you can get to that recording. Actually, if you're a VIP, all you got to do is, if you're a patron VIP, all you got to do is go onto Patreon, and the link is there for you, because that was a gift for you guys, for my VIP patrons, to attend this class. All right. So whether you watched it live or you watched it in the archives, you're still protected because of all the work that was done in there to make sure that space is protected live and in the replay. Okay. So it's there. And if you missed the link, you need the link again, let me know. All right. And then I'll get that to you. So it's oh, yay. Thank you, Richard, so much for my super sticker. Let me see what the super sticker is. Mwah! Kisses. Lots of love to you too. Yay. Love that. Woohoo. All right. So reincarnation. I'm just asking them to make sure that it is something that everyone can follow up on if they didn't even watch the class last night. Okay. So, all right. So reincarnation. If you don't believe in reincarnation, that's okay. You're half right. If you do believe in reincarnation, that's okay. You're half right. What? Half right? I don't understand. So a lot more information came through when you expand, right? When you're open to receive messages that can seem overwhelming, and you just, okay, as you expand and allow, then they show you more and more pictures, but you have to be willing to be open to that. And so for those who did not attend the presentation last night, I just wanted just a little quick catch up here, is that, and it's the whole ascension process from the third dimension, fifth, third, fourth, fifth dimension. It's not stopping at fifth dimension, because Earth's higher self is seventh dimension. And what I mean by that is that the 3D Earth we call Mother Earth, or Terra, like terracotta, Terra, all right? Fifth dimensional is Tara, Tara. Seventh dimensional is Gaia. Gaia is that destination that she's going for. All right. She's not going to stop at fifth. It's going to the seventh. Now, here's an interesting thing they showed me too, the energy wise. It's not, and this is for all of us, because the ascension wise, it's not ascending from third, from fifth to seventh, like how we think. All right. It exists in layers. Third, fifth, seventh, stacked sideways, on top, upside down, doesn't matter. But when you put them all together, it creates Lady Gaia. And in separation, we've separated aspects of Lady Gaia's soul, so to speak. Third dimension, fifth dimension, seventh dimension. All right. And they all come back together. And that really explains us as well. And we'll get to, my goodness. Yeah, okay. We'll get to that too. To the list. Whoa! All right. We'll talk about something else after that. Okay, so I'm just going to sit here telepathically. Can everyone receive this? I'm just kidding. But that might be the future of the shows, right? Let's just all link in with our own power, right? No AI. Okay, so now, so keep that in mind, is that lady, so she's already Earth, so to speak, in the ascension process. She's already in 5D, the Tara part, T-A-R-A, going for Lady Gaia. And so even we are going higher than fifth dimension. We are going to match that vibration, because many of us are seventh dimension and higher. Okay. And so those that are going through the ascension process, it makes sense now, because I had heard a while back and I didn't understand. You have to have experience in the seventh dimension to go through this ascension process, because Lady Gaia is not stopping at 5. She's stopping at 7. Does that make sense? You with me so far? Okay. So now, also we talked about, what we are ascending from, and there has been, and I know it's going to sound like Star Wars or a space movie, but there really has been this battle between light and dark, light and dark, light and dark. The separation between light and dark, and then this battle. Okay, so details are in that class. I'm just going to keep it very short and sweet and try not to shock everyone, but we all know that the evil that has been on this earth plane, that's that separation, that darkness. I'm not talking about shadow part of you. I'm talking about pure evil. Okay, they have lost. The light has won, and we just got to let it play out. Okay, in the third dimension, if you meditate daily, you can see the outcome. Absolutely. You can see it, you can know it, you can feel it, you can experience it. All right, so what kept us in the 3D was not free will, was not solely our free will and not solely our choice. What kept us in the third dimension was what pretty much the and I'm gonna call it negative aliens, let's just say that, came in and was taking control of Earth, not just Earth, but this whole solar system. So that makes an energetic fence around this whole solar system. So now, when we think we are crossing over into that fourth dimension, which was revealed to me as heaven / purgatory, or the holding space, now I know why they called it that, because the fourth dimension is really big too. And so depending on where you are in that fourth dimension, it could be a nice experience, it could be that light experience, or it can be, depending on where you are, it can be a not so nice experience. All right, so we'll say that for another time. So anyway, everyone that's on this earth plane and we cross over, we don't leave this solar system. All right? And you're forced right back into reincarnation. I thought there was free will with that, and for coming back in. And the thing, you don't have to come back in, but you're going to be hanging up in that upper fourth dimension, heaven, astral plane, and the astral, that fourth dimension astral, you can hang out there. But many of us will come back in because we want this to stop. And by doing nothing, that gets us nowhere. So by coming in and contributing to, okay, I'm rested now, I'm going to go back in and let's shine more light. Let's do this again. So we agreed to this. It's not like Groundhog Day, but it's different because it's not this. It can be situations, but it's not the same people, not the same thing, not the same clothes. It's changed up. It's not the same thing all the time. Now, and how we stay connected to the upper vibration doesn't mean that we can never get out of the fourth dimension That's why meditation was so important. Is still important. That's why they say, if you can remember leaving your body, and doing work in the astral plane, we can go higher in that regard. Like when we astral travel, and we leave our bodies, but there's still so much that we can do. But that's great though, because if we're shining light in the astral plane, that's sinking down into the earth, into the whole solar system. So that's great. But when we are connected with that God spark within us, within our sacred heart center, within that sacred within, all right, then we're high. We're really up there dimensionally. All right. No one can separate us from God, from source. So know that. Okay. But energetically, like to anchor in, and there is an agreement with planets that we agreed to come to. So now what has also helped too is that we have guardians that come in. And this is the thing. People can come in, you can come in from higher dimensions, but you couldn't leave. Crazy. But you couldn't leave. This is why a lot of volunteers would come in. They're like, oh, we're coming in, we're helping with this ascension process. We're going to help shine light everywhere. All right. And so the thing to pay attention to is that absolutely the light has won, and things are still just collapsing, because now more and more bursts, more of these beautiful kids coming in, these light beings that with their 12 strands of DNA already intact, everything's intact. It's safe for them to come in here now. It's safe. And they're helping to bring in more light into this earth plane, onto the third and fourth dimensions, to quickly get us all to help ascend. So I want you to just look and concentrate on that beautiful, beautiful part. So yes, reincarnation exists as long as the 3D, which is shrinking, but is here. But as soon as we fully step into, this is the beginning of the golden age, but as soon as we fully are into this, in the ascension, not that ascension is ever really complete, right? But when we get to this, everyone's at fifth dimension and higher, all right, then there's no need for reincarnation. Did you know that? Because we can still learn. I do believe there was a lot of things that had been revealed to just cushion blows for us, to make sure that we had hope, because we have to have hope and faith. And that hope and faith is what has gotten us through, right? Don't you agree? Don't you think that that's what's gotten us through? And that determination, maybe too. Many of us who have come back and we're like, we're so tired of this nonsense. We're done with it. Done. Bye-bye. Bye-bye, evil. We're done. All right. So there's no need for reincarnation in the upper vibrations. And then, of course, when I hear that, my mind's always going. So I knew they had said there's no death like this. Death is hard here. That physical death, there isn't anything like that. The freedom to go to any solar system, to go to any place we want to. And then when we feel like we're done, we just leave. When we're done, we just leave. And everyone's okay with it. Everything's fine. Okay, I know it's time. And it's mind-blowing. We can't even really comprehend that, can we? Because this is kind of like, it's something that we haven't experienced yet, or that we can remember. But as we ascend in those, our whole soul story is going to be, we're going to remember the whole soul story. Let me say that. We're going to remember everything. And it's like, oh, yeah. Then it will all make sense. So trying to explain it now, where some of us are still kind of like a little asleep, right? So, all right. Yay. Anyway, so it's going to be beautiful. Then I asked a question about, well, so what about births? Are there no kids? And they're just like, no, it's different. But then they really haven't gone into too much with that, going that it's going to be easier. So there you go. Oh, let me see. Let me catch up on some of these comments here. I think can I pause now? Are we good on that thought? Okay. Yay. Robin, hey Robin. Oh, hey Lauren Love, Dr. Lauren Love. Thank you so much. And this show and all the shows for this month and April too, but I haven't told the rest of the show hosts yet. But so, because all right. So, Ruth, you're listening. You're the first to know that our March and April's shows are sponsored by ICU Dr. Lauren Love, the ICU nurses, technicians, and staff, the Boston area hospitals. And thank you. So blessings all. Reverend Tiffany, I've had patients that actually clinically dead for up to 20 minutes. And where were they? They were in the fourth dimension. That fourth dimensional astral plane, like I said, I've always just called it, it's heaven. And one time I asked, though, my committee is like, where's purgatory? Does it really exist? That Catholic. And they were like, well, we call it the holding. It's a holding area. And so then I realized that the fourth dimension, I just thought fourth dimension was just one big, huge heaven place, but it's in layers. Okay, so there is, and this is what we call where spirit gets stuck, because there's no ghosts either in upper vibrations, is in that lower, like the third and the fourth, the lower. That's where most people who leave their and doesn't want to fully cross over, they hang out there, and then they kind of go up a little bit more. Those who leave their body near-death experiences, they go just a little bit up there, but they don't go fully into the fourth dimension. So they hang out there and then come back down. So that's where they go, Lauren. Oh, let's see. I'm scroll back down. Okay, so Robin. Hi, Robin. How you doing? Oh. Let's see. I know, yeah, right. See, Ruth. Woohoo! Yes, thank you. Yay. Where do all the evil people go? All right, so that's a great question, Wendy. The evil people are recycled right back in immediately. They don't have a pause. As soon as they die, their soul goes right back into in vitro, goes right back into, it finds a wound it goes into. And it's also predetermined. Remember, especially if they're really related to the evil bloodline, everything's like kind of predetermined. Okay, so who do we want to put you into now? And so that they can be raised and bred for the next cruelty they can do in their adult life. All right, so that's they come right back in. They don't hang out because they have to get right back to work. It takes a lot of work being evil, right? They don't get any rest, and it's so yeah. Oh, Lauren, love. Big shout out, Ruth. Love your book. I want your grandmother's cinnamon rolls. I know, I do too, right? Hello, Melissa. Missy Parks is in the house. Melissa, did you fall asleep last night? I was concerned about you being able to hang the whole... Hey, if I wasn't giving the class, I'd be asleep too. Last night. Mouth open, drool, it would be pretty. But anyway. Yes, I knew you would, yeah. So Melissa, in case you didn't hear, because Ruth, I don't know if you heard it or not, but Ruth heard it. So this past weekend, another generous donation from ICU, Dr. Lauren Love. She paid for her and the staff, everyone there. They covered April's shows too. So March and April shows for our show hosts. All the production, everything is taken care of for March and April. So thank you again, Dr. Lauren Love. You know, we love you so much. We're so grateful. We really, really are. And grateful for not just that, but for everything that you, the nurses, the technicians, and the staff does and has been going through the last year. I know has not been easy for, for anybody, but I think more so for you guys. Absolutely. Those right there in the front lines. So, yay. All right. So, Ruth and Melissa, you get a heads up, and I'm going to let the rest of the show hosts know later. I'll save it for tomorrow, and I'll go ahead and do something, send out an email tonight. But, yay. I know. Isn't that amazing? All right. Yeah, so it's not a bad thing when we talk about the reincarnation thing. It wouldn't actually be a breath of fresh air. And everything's just going to get easier and better. Once we get through, we still got just a little bit of the controlling structures falling to get through. A little bit more of that chaos. And then and once we get to the smooth sailing, wow, yay. We've done a lot of hard work, but we shouldn't sit back on that. We still have more work to do, which is just keep doing what we've been doing, shining brightly, spreading love and light in all directions, and just be kind. And that golden rule, remember that? Yeah, that. So, let's stick with that. All right. So it's not a bad thing. It just was very interesting, as one thing is revealed and they talk about something else, and then it just goes on, and it's actually very, very beautiful. So great things to look forward to. And so those that didn't believe in reincarnation, you're half right too. So it's okay. Because essentially, it won't in the upper vibrations. It doesn't exist there, only here. So we had no really idea how horrible it was to separate for separation. And when you take this energy that's used to being entwined together and then rip it apart, it's we know what that's like. We don't. I'm having a hard time even trying to find words for it. It just plain sucks. It's more than that, but right. But that's behind us, and let's go on. Okay, so that's another thing too that they were hitting me with today, or I was asking about and got more clarification on. Sorry, and they come in really fast sometimes. Okay, throw it down. I think I've mentioned this before. I really wasn't too sure. I've never been too sure about soul retrievals. There was always just this like, well, why would you want to do that? From a lower vibrational point. And so aspects, like when I use that example, okay, when you use an example of of Earth, Earth 3D, Tara 5D, Lady Gaia 7th dimension. All right. So let's say that here we are in the third dimension, and soul retrieval, our soul's been fragmented, just like Earth was fragmented. Because this is what happened. Many of us had past lives. The last golden age on Earth was 5D Tara. And it was blown up in electric wars, Star Wars, and shot into a black hole. And in this whole destruction part, of falling apart, going into the 3D. So that's a fragmentation happening there. Fragmentation. Now, those that were on that planet at that time, many of us were, many of us weren't. Many of us had already left in preparation on what was going to happen. But it caused ripple effects, and that in even the seventh dimension, Gaia, it created that separation. Couldn't connect to them like we used to. So going back and forth in the timelines, all right. And so then this is why I was always confused by why would you want to do soul retrieval? Because we are ultimate mutants. We we heal. Aren't we resilient? And we've been taught our bodies can heal. So listen, this is my thing. Is that so we have a little area with us health-wise, whatever, and it's related to something in the past, and we're working on healing it. To go on with everyday life, we have to do a patch healing. And then maybe we take care of it. And then you hear about soul retrieval. Or we can go back in the past and heal that. Well, haven't you already healed it? By healing yourself right here, right now, you've healed past timelines and even future timelines. Your healing all really takes place right here, right now. So if I'm better now than I was in the past, I sure as heck don't want something back from the past. No, I don't want that. But sure, let's line up with the divine blueprint. Let's line up with aspects of me that's higher vibrational. Let's pull that in, let that come in and just supercharge that energy, that healing, that whatever is missing, right? So that's the thing about the energies. When something is gone, something takes its place immediately. It's not just left open. So for me, I'm just explaining. I'm not putting it down. It just never made sense to me. And then finally I got more clarification or talking about that. They were just like, well, why would you want to do something like that? But, I'd never want to, I know that's something that people do. The original concept of it has been diluted, has been misunderstood. That really is like if we heal the timeline of now, we heal backwards and forwards. That's all there is to it. That's all I'm going to say with that, because I know there's people who do this type of work, and I'm not trying to talk badly about them and what they do, because everyone's needed right now. I just am sharing that personal experience, my thoughts with you all. Okay? So only mean this with the best intention. All right, so let's see, Dr. Love. Are registered beings as far as how many times can we carnage back? Oh, it's been endless times. Endless. Let me see. Now, I've heard a lot of different things about this. Like I said, choice-wise, I've heard some people say it's so many different things, no more than 10, but no. I mean, I've been around people that they've like 50 times, over 50, 70. I mean, it's unbelievable. Like, that's how I can tell to the older ones who have come in, the ones who were part of the 5D terror that blew up and came with the third dimension, and really is to help everything, to help rise them back up, and Mother Earth to help everyone recover from that. All right, so that took the healing process to let that begin. You can tell by how many past lives they have had. So the newer ones that maybe have come in even just 10 years ago, knowing that they're ascending, it's safe for me to come in now. Knowing that they couldn't leave just yet, so they could come in, and I could tell those don't have as many past lives. And those who are kind of newer, and I mean this with love, but they seem kind of stupid in common sense. No, I shouldn't say stupid. That's not right. They kind of, to us, they seem like they lack common sense, only because this Earth experience is very different and they're not used to it. So it's almost like, oh, they're newbies. They're newbies to the Earth. That's the thoughts we should have about that is, oh, they're newbies to Earth. You can tell, look at that. They don't know what they're doing. And it's not that they're stupid. It's that they haven't been here and experienced it. Things are just so much easier. Of course, in the upper vibrations. So in the upper dimensions. And so they've agreed to come in to help bring the light. It doesn't matter really, and we should never judge. We should always just be in the observation. But in that observation is when we say, oh, yeah, you can tell they're newbies, but they have a lot of light to share. And okay. And so, yeah, there you go. Yes, absolutely. Yes, Lauren, that's exactly it. Because they are a higher dimensional beings that are coming in. Yeah, and they're misunderstood. Just because so it's like they lack hard work. Well, because it's so easy on the other side, that physical hands-on doing, there's so much doing here. And again, this is the separation. There's doing and then there's being, meditating. Being is where we're very, very powerful. So they're also used to, in the upper dimensions and vibrations, everything is brought together. There's that oneness. There's no separation. Doing and being is inseparable, but it's so much easier. You can just think and it happens. It's like we've all watched Bewitched, right? So us who've had a lot of experience on this 3D, we know we got to fold that laundry. It's not going to get done unless we fold it. But these millennials coming in going, I remember I could twitch my nose and it would be done. Twitch my nose. What's wrong? It's not working. I have to actually fold them. That's why. Because they were closer to remembering their gifts and abilities. And it doesn't make sense. Like, why do we have to make it harder? Why is it harder? That's all it is. So let's not, generational gap. So it's happened forever, hasn't it? I mean, when we were young, our grandparents and parents probably thought that we were just on a different, and we have been. That's what happens. Because every 10 years, it just seems like there's new light that comes in, right? And then those of us, the old warriors that keep coming back in. And a lot of you, I can tell the ones that are coming because we're getting tired, right? Tired of it. It's like, oh, I'm so tired, and, but keep going because we energetically are there. It's a catch up. It's catch up. So anyway, I saw that information is just really, really great. And so you can ask your questions too with your own committees, with your angels, your guides, whatever you call them. It's just fun to give them a little name. So like I said, the Angelic Celestial Committee, I say committee because it's my business. And so I have committee meetings every day. Right? When you work at home, you got to have a committee meeting. Right. Okay. Only thing, though, is that, I asked them to bring coffee and they just can't make it materialize for me. But it's okay. The information they bring is better than that anyway. I can make my own coffee. So, oh no, thank you, Dr. Love. Thank you. And so it's and now these kids coming in are going to be even. We need to leave them alone. Don't manipulate them in any way, shape, or form because they're here to teach us and to help us. So help continue raising us up. So, whoo, yeah. I know, look at it. All right. So, did that make sense to anybody, or was I just off in Lululand? No, okay. If anyone has any questions about it, just let me know. You can pop your question in there, and let's see what they. I love us learning together. It's always so fun. And so it's and more, I remember it used to be they were so safeguarded with information coming through, and now it's just, yeah, okay, now let's let it come through. It's okay. And so just yeah, woohoo. But like I said, by the end of this year, we're just going to just really understand everything. We don't have to understand it to ascend and make progress, but it helps us when we get that validation. It's just like, oh, that's awesome. So don't even expect validation, and then it comes. When we keep looking for it, we're so focused on validation that we miss it. Right? And so yeah, just keep going, and it's just gonna let's use this example. Look how far we've come in just in the last year, right? This time last year, it hadn't even really hit yet, right? I think it was mid-March when they started, oh my goodness, shutting everything down, going into lockdown. So we all have changed a lot just in this last year. We should, because we should have changed, right? That was a lot to go through. So just think about how much more, and everything's speeding up. So how much more things are going to be different by the end of this year. And so, yeah, woohoo, lots of good things. So I'm excited. I am. And so, yeah, then it just creates more questions too. The more questions that do get answered, or more information that comes through. And so, but yeah, pat yourself on the back, everyone, because a lot of progress has been made. So, yay. All right, so is there any questions that anybody has? Any questions? Those are good questions, Dr. Lauren. Now, is that in line with what you received too? So, I know that Dr. Lauren Love is very intuitive herself. And so I find that many in the healthcare field, either they're like that to start off with, or they end up that way later on. So then there's a reason why they're drawn to that field, is to most definitely help. Well, all of us help in so many different ways, right? So, yeah. So Wendy, line up my cats. Wendy, what are you talking about? Line up your cats. Oh, so funny. Funny. All right. So let's see, where are we here? Is there anything else, team, that we wanted to share? So I know there's a lot of information that came in last night, so I don't want to overload tonight. I thought that was really fascinating, though, about the reincarnation. And so you were all great teachers. Thank you. So are you. Right? We're all teachers. We're all students and teachers on a daily basis. We should always be doing something new every day. No one should sit back and just go, okay, well, I know it all. I'm bored now. What? That's ego. Oh, Reiki, right, Wendy, Reiki, is it good, correct? Okay, so anything is as good as the intention behind it. What's the intention behind it? I don't, okay, so I have been certified in traditional Usui Reiki. There's parts of it I don't necessarily agree that I don't do in my healing session, like you should never block any systems off, like your tongue to the roof and other parts. I don't, you got to keep your conduit open. That's the only thing that I don't agree with it. But other than that, I mean, you take what you can use and leave the rest with everything. All right. And you tweak it too, because many healers, and you get back into this life and you want to do healing again. And so it's techniques upon techniques, and you're kind of just making this beautiful um, mixture of all these different techniques that you've learned. And then how you apply it's going to be different anyway, because everyone's different and unique, but your approach in your healing is going to be different. Okay. So even though there might be cookie cutter learning, when everyone goes to apply and to give those healings, it's going to be different because we each are different. All right. So it's your intention behind it. So if someone sits there and says that something it is that may that could be just be their intention. To me, something evil is something that creates harm. I mean harm to somebody, right? We shouldn't harm someone else. That goes against our divine law of one, just that the love one another, harm none, right? So, all right. I hope that answers your question, Wendy. So, changing school teachings. You know, absolutely, all these structures are going to change and be so much easier. For the kids coming in can't handle traditional schooling. They're not going to handle traditional schooling. Let's say that. They're not already. And think about how many of us, I mean, I was completely bored out of my mind in school. And so there's going to be a lot that's just going to be even, I'm not doing this. You want me to do what? It makes no sense to me. And they're going to be even more strong-willed because they're going to know this system doesn't work. They already know. If you try to plug them into an old controlling system, they're not going to have any part of it. So it needs to be restructured. It needs to be free flowing, is like here is like free flow, and it's going to be different for each child as well. Remember, everyone's different, but when you get these groups that come in, they're kind of collectively going to resonate and want to do the same activities or same type of things. So it's very important then for the mothers to have be around other kids that age, that they can all learn together on their own with their own levels. I hope that makes sense. But yes, most definitely, and it's going to be different. It's not, see, they're doing away with all the controlling systems. There are going to be so many options with the schooling, but most definitely the classroom setting does not work. All right. The classroom, it should be outside. It should be something that is more enjoyable for learning. How would you want to learn? You know, so yeah. All right. Let's see. Dr. Love. That's a great question, Rich. Dr. Lauren Love, Reverend Tiffany, and everyone. I feel guilty sometimes when I can diagnose through my elder realm. Really, I do. Don't feel guilty. Don't ever feel guilty for your abilities, for your connection. Okay, how about this? You feel guilty for your connection to Source? You feel guilty for your connection to God? Because that's where our abilities, it comes from Source. It comes from God. It comes from that Christ Sophia consciousness. All right, that whole unified way of being, it comes from there. So if you feel guilty, are you feeling guilty because of your connection? I want you to rethink that. Twist that back around and go, no, I'm grateful for this connection. I am grateful. And you know what, Laura, because you're doing exactly what you're meant to do. So I hope that helps you. So, yeah. Wendy, it sounds like it's a learning challenge, Lauren. So just don't feel guilty when you do that. All right, at all, because that's what you're supposed to do. That's what you're here to do. That's what you're here to work with, and you know what? To help others, listen to that guidance as well. To listen to that, and not to question. And so I love how it's okay, so I think last show I talked about med beds, right? There's something that I want to make sure that no one misunderstands with this is when I say it's going to change hospitals, it's going to change doctors and nurses' lives for the better. The doctors and the nurses that have their hands tied right now with red tape and controlling structures, when these things fall, and as they are falling, and they will have so much more freedom to do the natural holistic approaches that they want to do, that they know works, right? So that's why I think it's going to be grateful for. They're going to be like, yay, Don't tell me what I can and can't do, right? And that's how I think the whole holistic field feels too. Is the hands all this, oh my goodness, what you can and can't say. You can't say this, and you can't say anything heals. You can't say anything cures. You can't blah 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 blah. It's like, oh my gosh, really? But our bodies do it naturally. But that terrifies them because there's no money in healthy people. But you know what, though? A lot of us, yes, we just want to make sure that everyone is comfortable. Everyone has, that all their needs are met. They have food, they have a home, everything that they need, that everything is met, and that's including their health. And that's the world we're going to, and that's where it's headed. Even though if you can't see it, feel it, and that picture will get more and more clearer for you the closer and closer that we get. Okay, so yay. Yeah, Dr. Love, pressure from other staff who don't get it, and lots of jealousy. Well, they're holding themselves back. Jealousy, what kind of teacher is jealousy? If you're paying attention, well, I'm jealous, admit that, and go, well, what can I do to fix that jealousy? I could learn. And so, you just keep teaching by example. There you go. Just keep teaching by example. And that's something they have to work out. That is what they came in here to work out and to learn. So they have to do that. But there's always going to be jealousy. If someone makes something look so easy, there's going to be jealousy, right? There's going to be other people that's like, oh my gosh. That's a great point. Absolutely, Richard, is make a light shield around yourself. Yes, like we did the 12D shield last night, and that presentation last night, the 12D shield. Do that, Lauren. Put that around you, and you are most definitely protected. So don't worry about that. And they have to work through that. All we can do is just keep sending people love and compassion. I understand, but you can't fix them. They have to do their own work, especially when it comes to jealousy. Okay, so they'll have to work through that. So yeah. Aww. All right, so Robin, I recorded a video of me outside praying the night my mother passed. I listened to it later. It was February 21st. at 12:12 a.m. She passed that morning. White smoke clouds around me, and I can hear birds singing. Oh, that's beautiful. Oh, that's wonderful. I know it's dark outside and no birds, right? I got that. Yeah, yeah. Again, when you have all of these, the veil is thinning. All right, so that barrier that was there is going away. We have the lines are being blurred. The lines of separation. That's what I mean by that with the veil thinning. The lines of separation is dissolving. It's already dissolved the line between third and fourth dimension. And so we're going to be going through the line that's dissolving from the fourth and fifth. All right, and then we're just going to keep going after that. So we're going to experience things that doesn't even make sense, So it's interesting because the last several nights, last week, I think it's been happening for a week, actually for like over a week now. I'm waking up, and I think I've said this before, I'm not sure, but I'm hearing conversations. I'm hearing like tuning of a radio. You're trying to get that station. I might be old school. Yes, we actually had to turn a knob on the radio to get to the stations, not with our phones and just hit a button. But for our music now. Anyway, but it sounds like those old radio stations where you're going through and trying to find the station. And it's like, that's exactly what it sounds like. It's like, so you're hearing conversation in this dimension. You'll be hearing snippets of in another dimension, or you're hearing it several different conversations at the same time, but they're coming in from different places, like this overlay, right? And so that's how everything is happening right now. So that was like the overlays. Doesn't matter if it was night or morning. The birds were singing, because where your mother is, that's where the birds were, singing. So it's, that beautiful overlay. Yeah, the white noise, Robin. Exactly. Yeah. Yes. Yeah. And so then tuning in into, so I have a lot of things that so I don't really like to say prophecy, because I'm not tooting my horn here or just egotistical. I write stuff down, and they have come true. Because I also know too that that's just one out of several options, one out of several potential outcomes. And so not to harp on that and go, oh, I know the outcome. No, you just were shown one out of several potential outcomes. All right. And so write down everything that you get. And then even if you feel like, oh, I'm wrong, though, it's still tied to how it did happen. Look at that. Look at the whole picture. Look at it. It's a lot of fun. It's great. It can be nerve-wracking sometimes when you get things. I think it was very hard for me when my husband was active duty Navy, because he's retired Navy chief, submarines. So when he would go out to sea, and I would get impressions or get things, and it was just be like, oh, no, just stop it. I don't want to do all this. I think it's like, okay, you don't want to know things. And then I think it was what the last one was, I think one of the last really big things that had happened before he retired. It was that I was during meditation, and I just got up and started drawing, automatic drawing. I've got to find that picture, guys. I've got to find that picture and show you. But there was a submarine sunk, search parties. You could see search lights. And so I'm letting this come through. You have to stay calm. My mind's freaking out. What the heck? What is that, a sign? Yours is out to sea right now. Is that boat? Oh my God. And it's like, shh, shh, I don't want to shut this channel down. Be quiet. Be quiet. You know, and so it's like, be quiet. We'll get back to that in a little bit. Let me just finish this. When you're in the mode, you're in the mode, so you just keep going. And so then it was when was it the Russian submarine that sank? And they went and asked for any help. And the whole world responded with, let's send search parties. We'll help you. We'll help you. And no, it was that I saw. And so because I got validation on that when it hit the news a couple of days later. So, wow. Anyway. Mind-blowing, right? So that's when it was personal like that for you. It's just kind of like you see things that involve other people around you, or you're connected to it in one way, shape, or form. Anyway, all right. So everyone, our time, wow, it just goes by so fast. It's irrelevant anyway, time, right? So, thank you everyone for sitting in Sacred Circle this evening. Good night, Richard. Good night, Robin. Lord, whoa, I know, right? I'm going to go through my journals. I'm going to find that picture. And so, yeah, and show it to you. So, right. Anyway, come here, baby. My dog wants to say goodnight. You want to say goodnight, Ty? Oh, he just want to jump up here. Okay, well, good night, everyone. I will see you next Sunday evening. Same place, same time in our Sacred Circle. Go forward this week and remember to shine brightly, because it does make a difference. All right? Just keep shining your light in all directions. Be that lighthouse. All right? And we will see each other next week. Power up the 12D shield. Power up, Power Rangers. Much love to each of you. Good night.
This month's broadcasting is sponsored by ICU Dr. Lauren Love, ICU nurses, technicians, and staff in the Boston area hospitals.